يرجو الثواب لا يبالي بالصعاب في سبيل الله نمضي نبتغي رفع اللواء.
Muhammad was a very ordinary man. He couldn't have read, he didn't know to write. In fact, he was illiterate. And we're talking about 1,200 years ago. You have someone, an illiterate person, making profound pronouncements and statements that are amazingly accurate of a scientific nature. And I personally can't see how this could be a mere chance. There are too many accuracies. And like Dr. Moore, I have no difficulty in my mind reconciling that this is a divine inspiration or revelation which led him to these statements.
Summary. The Quran describes not only the development of external form, but emphasizes also the internal stages, the stages inside the embryo of its creation and development, emphasizing major events recognized by contemporary science. Thank you for your attention.
As a scientist, I can only deal with things which I can specifically see. I can understand embryology and developmental biology. I can understand the words that are translated to me from the Quran. As I gave the example before, if I were to transpose myself into that era, knowing what I do today and describing things, I could not describe the things which were described. I see no reason, I see no evidence for the fact to refute the concept that this individual, Muhammad, had to be developing this information from someplace. So I see nothing here in conflict with the concept that divine intervention was involved in what he was.
Actually, I'm very much impressed by finding true astronomical facts in Quran. And for us, we modern astronomers have been studying very small fields of the universe. We concentrated our efforts for understanding of very small part, because by using telescope we can see only a very few parts of the sky without thinking whole the universe. So by reading Quran and by answering to your questions, I think I can find my future way for investigation of the universe.
In a relatively few ayah is contained a rather comprehensive description of human development from the time of commingling of the gametes through organogenesis. No such distinct and complete record of human development, such as classification, terminology, and description, existed previously. In most, if not all instances, this description antedates by many centuries the recording of the various stages of human embryonic and fetal development recorded in the traditional scientific literature.
thinking of many of these questions and thinking where Muhammad came from. He was, after all, a Bedouin. I think it is almost impossible that he could have known about things like the common origin of the universe, because scientists have only found out within the last few years, with very complicated and advanced technological methods, that this is the case. Somebody who did not know something about nuclear physics 1400 years ago could not, I think, be in a position to find out from his own mind, for instance, that the earth and the heavens had the same origin, or many other of the questions that we have discussed here.
It follows, I think, that not only is there no conflict between genetics and religion, but in fact religion may guide science by adding revelation to some of the traditional scientific approaches. That there exist statements in the Quran shown centuries later to be valid would support knowledge in the Quran having been derived from God. Thank you very much.
End of those sessions.
I became interested in the Quran, which Sheikh Abdul Majid al-Sindani gave me. Last year, I got Professor Keith Moore's lecture script from Sheikh. He asked me to translate it into the Thai language and to give a few lectures to the Muslims in Thailand. I have fulfilled his request, and you could see this in the video clip that I have given to Chief as a gift. From my study and what I have learned from this context, I believe that everything that has been recorded in the Quran 1400 years ago must be true. That can be proved by the scientific means. Since the Prophet Muhammad could neither read nor write, Muhammad must be a messenger who relayed this truth, which was revealed to him as an enlightenment by the one who is knowledgeable Creator. This Creator must be God or Allah. Therefore, I think this is the time to say, La ilaha illallah. There is no God to worship except Allah. Muhammad Dun Rasulullah. Muhammad is messenger of Allah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا